lovely morning as I welcome you all around the world to today's 28th of June 2023 to the paper review of BGI TV Current. My name remains Ige or Lalekon. I wish all our Muslim brothers today Ildi El Kabir and I wish them many more years to come. Going through the paper headline for this morning, I have with me the Nation newspaper, Vanguard newspaper, Punch newspaper and Nigerian Tribune. And going through the Nation newspaper, the headline says, Tinubu returned from trips, arrives Lagos. Then if you move down through the Vanguard newspaper, we have Ildi El Kabir, Tinubu, Buhari, S.A.W, Atiku, Obi, governors, camp preaches love and peace. Going through the Punch newspaper for this morning, we have this headline, Federal government, banks plan special ID card for senior citizens. And through another Punch newspaper, we have this headline, lawless soldiers shoot Ogun driver for parking beside company. Then going through the Nigerian Tribune for today, we have Salah, our problem not insurmountable, Tinubu tells Nigerian. Let's go through the paper in full to see what we have for us on the dailies for this morning. In the Nation newspaper for this morning, we have this. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has returned to Nigeria after a trip to Paris, where he attended Financial Pact Summit, and London. He arrived at the presidential wings of the Murtala Muhammed Airport, Lagos, around 5:05 p.m. He was welcomed by a sea of dancing supporters who have been waiting for hours for his return. Tinubu in Lagos for the Ildi El Kabir celebration is first since he was inaugurated as the 16th president. Going through the headline once again, Tinubu returns from trip, arrives Lagos. And going through the other newspaper, which is the Vanguard newspaper for this morning, Ildi El Kabir, Tinubu, Buhari, S.A.W, Atiku, Obi, governors, can preaches love, peace. And according to the headline, we have this. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, former President Muhammad Buhari, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi yesterday called for sober reflection as they facilitated with Muslims on this year Ildi El Kabir celebration. State governors, Christian Association of Nigeria CAN, and telecom company Glows, among others, also made similar call. Nigerians' problem not insurmountable, according to Tinubu. In his message, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu enjoined Muslims to show mercy and compassion to others. He acknowledged the challenges people were going through, but assured that the problem were not insurmountable as he was working hard with his team for solution. He said, as we immerse ourselves in the joy of this moment and celebrate, let us remember those who may not be as fortunate as us. There is no greater sense of duty ever recorded in history outside the enhumbling examples of Prophet Ibrahim in offering his only son Ismail as a sacrifice to Allah. The best way by which we can demonstrate this example is how we conduct ourselves in relation to our fellow citizens and in our duties to our beloved country. We must imbibe and manifest those values inherent in Prophet Muhammad's life, namely complete devotion to Allah, tolerance, patience, perseverance, selflessness, love, and compassion. And according to the headline, Ildi El Kabir, Tinubu, Buhari, S.A.W, Atiku, Obi governors celebrates and preaches peace, love with Nigerians. Going through the Punch newspaper for this morning, we have this headline, Federal government, bank, plan special ID cards for senior citizens. The federal government meets with officials of deposit money banks and other related institutions in Abuja on Tuesday to plan for the production of functional 3-in-1 identity card for older citizens across the country. Speaking at a roundtable meeting with banks on the productions of senior citizen ID cards, the Director General, National Senior Citizen Center, Imam Omakaru, said the initiative would improve the quality of life of older peoples across the country in various ways. Omakaru called for public-private partnership in the production of the ID card. This roundtable meeting, we hope, being a joint novel and maiden meeting on funding possibility for the production of functional and seamless 3-in-1 identity card for senior citizens, will provide equal opportunity for all present to contribute your perspective and ideas to the national project. To the rider, federal government, banks plan special ID card for senior citizens. And going through another pages of the Punch newspaper, we also have this headline: lawless soldiers shot Ogun driver for parking beside campaigning. A commercial driver, Bolaji Sunday, has been hospitalized after 2 yet to be identified soldiers allegedly shot him for parking his vehicle at the front of the Oriental Transport Company around Magboro bus stop in the Obafemi Owode local government area of Ogun State. Punch Metro gathered that Sunday left his residence and drove to the location to meet someone who wanted to connect him with a customer. When he got to the front of the company reportedly guarded by soldiers, Sunday parked his vehicle. The driver was said to be on his way to meet the person that wanted to connect him with his customers when the leader of the soldiers challenged him for parking at the spot. As Sunday was trying to give an explanation, our correspondent gathered that the two soldiers demanded the key to his vehicle and ordered him to sit in a gutter. Upon realizing that the driver was still explaining his reason that at the location rather than complying with the order, the soldier descended on Sunday and shot 2 tires of his vehicle. In a desperate attempt to protect his life, the driver, while wearing in pains on his side bed at the Real Divine Hospital in Ibafor area of the Obafemi Owode local government, told our correspondent that he started running, adding that one of the soldiers allegedly shot him at the back. And according to the rider, lawless soldiers shot Ogun driver for parking beside company. And going through another newspaper headline, which is the Nigerian Tribune for this morning, we have the rider, Salah. Our problems not insurmountable, Tinubu tells Nigeria. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has conceded that Nigeria is presently facing with a lot of challenges, particularly insecurity, but has assured that they are not insurmountable. He made the declaration in his message released on Tuesday to mark this year's Eid el-Kabir. The president, who returned from his private trip to the United Kingdom on Tuesday evening, having also attended the new Global Financing Pact Summit in Paris, France, during his time away from the country, pointed out that his administration has commenced initiative to revamp the economy and remove obstacles to growth. To the rider, Salah, our problems not insurmountable, Tinubu tells Nigerians. And going through another pages of the newspaper, of which we have The Nation, APC Old Caucus NEC meeting in July. APC Old Caucus NEC meeting in July. And going through the details of the news, we have the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, has slated its National Caucus and the National Executive Committee meeting for July 10 and 11, 2023. The two meetings are coming over a month after the inauguration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Kassim Shettima. The last NEC meeting of the party was held on April 22, 2022. Notice to this effect was issued to the National Secretary of the party, Senator Iyola Omishore in Abuja on Tuesday in Abuja. According to the notice, the National Caucus meeting called by the National Working Committee, NWC, under Article 12.5 of the Party Constitution will hold on Monday, July 10, 2023 at 6 p.m. at the Banquet Hall of Presidential Villa. Going through the Nation newspaper, just like we said that the president himself has arrived the country yesterday based on the fact that he has gone for a short trip, of which we all believe that is going to make a lot of immense positive on Nigerians' economy. And going through his trip to the United Kingdom and that of the Paris Summit, from all the reports that we gathered, we discovered that there had been a lot of bilateral agreements with other countries in terms of the various sectors of the economy of the country, of which the president will at least be able to revamp Nigerians' economy in terms of, wooing investors to come into the country, to make sure that at least they have been able to create a platform of which Nigerian youth can also benefited from. Then going through the rider of the Vanguard newspaper for this morning, we said Ildi El-Kabir, Tinubu, Buhari, S.A.W, and other leaders in the country are wishing our Muslim brother, as they are celebrating the Ileya today, a very wonderful time, and at the same time many more years to come on this, of which we also see that at the same time from the president's message to Nigerians and also to our Muslim brother, it is a time that we need to have a sober reflection on the country, and to also make sure that at least in one way or the other we are able to touch the life of other people. We make sure we make a positive imprint on the life of people by being compassionate, by having mercies, and by extending the goodwill of Prophet Muhammed to other people. You don't have to look at, maybe I'm from this particular religious background or things like that. We are all one. And based on the fact that the president was saying this, he also made a statement. He said that as we immerse ourselves in the joy of this moment and celebrate, let us remember those who may not be fortunate as us. There is no greater sense of duty ever in the recorded in history outside inevitably. Example, we should also make sure we imbibe the examples of what Prophet Muhammad preaches by extending goodwills to other people in the society. He also goes further to say something that the best way by which we can demonstrate this example is how we conduct ourselves in relation to our fellow citizens. We must imbibe and manifest those values in, Prophet Muhammad's life. He gave an instance of complete devotion to Allah. No matter the religions you belong to, you must always make sure you devote yourself, to the Almighty. Then he also talks about tolerance. We need to be tolerant of one another in this country for peace to reign. And we should also be patient in all what we do. We need perseverance. Then selflessness is one thing that all Nigerian needs. If you look at this, you come to realize that a lot of dilapidated infrastructural things that government has put in place is as a result of the fact that a lot of the citizens don't see it as their own responsibility. When you see things that are not going right, you have to say it out. You have to call the attention of government to it. Whether you are at the local level, you are at the state level, or you are at the federal level. It is your responsibility. And to be a patriotic Nigerian, you must make sure that when you see things that are going wrong, call the attention of opinion leaders within your community. Even possibly, if you can reach the civil society members, you make sure you inform them on that. This is what we can do to make our society a better place for us all to live in. Going to the Punch newspaper, federal government and the various banks, the deposit money banks have been coming up with a projection of providing a special ID card for the senior citizens. Well, I think this is a good idea, but at the same time, when we look at the issue of the senior citizen, we should also make sure that we consider the youth as one of the things that are very paramount, because they are the major working force in the country. So whatever the government is going to bring up, it is welcome. As far as it's going to be a benefit, a positive impact in the life of Nigerians. Then looking at this headline, lawless soldiers shoot Ogun driver for parking beside company. I think it is high time the top rank executive officer in our paramilitary and the military, they need to call their boys to order. You discover that, for the fact that you are a law enforcement agent does not give you the right, to maltreat or malhandle the citizen. Now, I think, the issue of this driver is a very simple thing that, various companies needs to put some sign right in front of that, no parking or things like that. Those are symbols that will make drivers to understand that, okay, this place is not a place where I can park or things like that. We are not saying you shouldn't have a security operative that work with you. You need them. But at the same time, there should be a guideline on how they operate. For the fact that you are holding gun does not mean that you have the authority to shoot people or things like that. You don't need to take law into your hands. And when you are addressing the citizen, please, it is very important that you also be cautious. They say respect is reciprocal. Based on the news we had, the guy was explaining his own side of the story, but I think the guy was not even given the room to give an explanation before the gun was shot. And coincidentally, it led to something else, of which the guy had to be taken to the hospital. This is not well good for the Nigerian soldiers. So you need to still give Nigerian soldiers need more orientation on how to manage the citizenry. Not only Nigerian soldier, the Nigerian police force, the Nigerian civil defense force, all the paramilitary, they still need to work and give them more orientation and enlightenment on how to relate with the citizenry, because it is their duty and responsibility to protect all lives and properties. And if you are doing that, it's a primary objective for them to make sure that whatever relationship they build with the citizen will go a long way to even rub off on their image to the citizen of the country. Going through the Nigerian Tribune, we have this. Salah, our problem insurmountable, not insurmountable. That's according to the president. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is, during his message during this year, Eid el-Kabir, he's telling Nigerians that he will make sure he puts in his best to make sure that he resuscitates and revamp the economy of Nigeria, of which, to a large extent is going to be rub off on the growth of the country. So I would want to enjoy on Nigerians that we should we should rally around him and support the government to make sure that we make Nigeria a better place once again. The president also go for that to say that he has been working, and very soon we should be expecting the list of his ministers, of which those that will work with him, and we hope and pray that he's going to get the right set of people who will be there to also, contribute immensely to the positive and to the that Nigerians expect from him. Going through the Nation newspaper, holds caucus NEC meeting in July. The ruling People's All Progressive Congress are planning to hold their caucus meeting, of which we believe they might also have one or two things to add to this administration as a party. since we have one of the front candidates, their front runner as a president of the country. They might have one or two things to contribute, but we hope that whatever it may be, we want a better Nigerian that everyone has been craving for, and we pray that God Almighty will bring Nigeria back to his glory. Nigeria, a great country, a greater country, good nation with good people. For this morning, I believe in one way or the other we've been able to get some information about the dailies for today. And if you really enjoy this, I will wish you to join us tomorrow on another edition of the newspaper headline. Once again, my name is Ige Olalikon. For your response and comment, please just put it on the comment section. I wish you a lovely day, and to all my Muslim brothers, I say once again, Eid el-Kabir and many more years to come. Bye for now, and take good care of yourself.